Hi, my name is Grace Teal.
I'm Caroline Casey.
And I'm Allie Gann.
And this is our project on IT Doesn't Matter.
So first we're going to go over the summary of the article, kind of the main points we took from it, and then after that we're going to move into kind of the difference between proprietary IT and infrastructure IT, and then after that we're going to go into kind of whether we disagree or agree with the article as a whole. So for the summary, the main points we took out of it was that there are two different types of IT, the proprietary and the infrastructure, and that it does kind of begin as proprietary, but it has a really short phase of giving a company competitive edge before moving into infrastructure. And then in general, kind of the article saying that IT is kind of dying out and it's only infrastructure based now and there's no growth for proprietary IT. And then the last point they made was that a lot of companies have different spending strategies for IT and that they're spending a lot on IT but not getting financial gain from it. So we'll talk about kind of all of that and whether we agree or disagree.
Yeah, so something just to build off of where you say they're spending money and not necessarily getting back that return. What we found interesting was definitely that like you can put money into something, you can put as much money into IT and not do anything with it, and you're not going to get anything out of it. But you can, it's almost in the sense of like less is more. Like if you're going to put money into IT and really, really utilize it, that's way more valuable than to just like load money in and not use the programs and systems. So it's not just spending. You can't just check off a box and be like, hey, we spent money here, like we're gonna be successful. It's how you're actually utilizing it. And that was like the example in class where you said about how, you know, you buy these fancy computers with CD-ROM drives and you're using it as a coffee holder. Like that's not utilizing the technology, that's not like applying it. So
right, and that ties into that picture that was in the article and how we had the number of computers against the railroads, and how you can't really have number of computers in an office as like a describing how IT is in a company. Like you could have a computer sitting in the corner and having it do nothing, or like you said in class, using it as a coffee holder.
Yeah, so definitely that's something that we noticed in the article with those graphs, that the scale was off. You can't compare apples and oranges. You can't really put a restricted number on IT. It's just,
right.
Yeah, that's what we all
It's not always physical.
Yeah.
And then kind of going along with the spending, they were talking about different companies and their strategies, and they mentioned Dell and Walmart kind of being late adopters of IT and just waiting for other innovators to kind of work out all the kinks and then using it and adopting it at a low cost. And that's definitely a strategy that some companies can use, but we kind of feel that if the entire industry and the entire world took that approach, there would be no innovation, and that as a whole, you know, the world economy would stagnate a little bit just because there's no new ideas or concepts or more efficient ways of doing business.
And that ties in, we kind of then were talking about Apple and how Apple started with like basic iPods, and now we're up to what, iPhone 7 now?
Yeah.
Now we're up to iPhone 7, which does everything but cook you dinner.
Yeah.
And so
maybe someday.
You never know.
Right.
Maybe someday.
So we really don't think like the proprietary edge is like gone in any way. There's a lot more like opportunities out there. Like we were talking about Uber and how, you know, that technology didn't exist at all, and now there's a million different companies who are trying to capitalize on it. The Internet of Things is a really big opportunity that no one has really took initiative on yet. So we don't think the proprietary edge is dying out at any.
Yeah, so that would definitely be like a main point that we disagreed with, because I even know just like looking up things online, like sometimes even all the stuff that goes into things like Snapchat or like completely like revolutionizing how we do things like advertising and just like stuff like that. It never ceases to fascinate
Should we even talk about the Barbie that we went from a classic Barbie that we had when we were 12 to this one that now can record and remember things.
Yeah, and then spit it back to you.
Months later.
It's a little creepy.
A little creepy, but it solves the entire problem. Like,
yeah.
It satisfies the exact desire of like every girl wanting to talk to their Barbie. So things like that would have never existed. A little creepy, but
yeah.
Very creepy.
But hey, it exists. Something we did recognize was the technology discussion that we had in class about qualifying versus compete. And we found that to qualify, you really need to be using those infrastructure technologies, because, you know, things like, if I wanted to go online and buy, I mean, I'm tall, so if I want to buy pants, I usually have to buy them online. So if I can't buy something online, basically I can't satisfy a need that I have. So I find it very nice now that like I can just go online and order all my clothes and everything will definitely like fit nicely. So that's something that companies, to even compete with one another for business, like you have to have online ordering. But things like oops, I said compete, but I meant qualify. And then in terms of competing, you have to have those proprietary innovations in technology. So, yeah, I think we pretty much covered all the bases, right? Is everyone feeling good?
IT does matter.
It really does.
Thank you for listening.